Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another tutorial video for industrial automation, the pneumatic circuit part. In this exercise, what we are going to do is this following one to demonstrate the application of two pressure valve or dual pressure valve or AND valve. Basically, what happened here is the problem is this is maybe a pressing machine which has a piston rod actuated by air pressure, and you have to put some object to press, and this guard lock should be lowered down, and you have to press a push button. Then only this piston will be actuated. Otherwise, if there is no object, there is the guard lock is not lowered down, it should not be actuated. And once you release your hand from the push button, or if the guard lock is released or pushed up, then immediately the cylinder should retract. It should not move forward. So that means we need to use here AND condition. So let's see how to get the solution. So as usual, we open the fluidsim software, and I have already prepared the circuit. So let me explain this thing. So all these components can be found from this library. Okay, you just have to configure this one. So in my previous video, I have already shown how to drag and drop all these library component. Okay, so this is the dual acting cylinder. Then I use the throttle valve so that this during the simulation you can see the thing is moving at a reasonable speed. I use a 4-way valve. In one way pneumatically controlled, but the other way is spring loaded. So that means if there is no pressure, immediately it will automatically be switched off and the cylinder will retract. And this is the AND valve or dual pressure valve. So I use two AND valves. So for this is the workpiece retainer, which is a limit switch. I use a roller limit switch. So once the workpiece is there, it will press this limit switch, and if the workpiece is not there, because of the spring force, it will retract back. The valve will retract back. And then there is a push button, but at the same time we have another AND logic valve, which is basically the guard lock is going down. So you can see if only this one is activated and this one is activated, then this thing will be somewhere, this lever will be somewhere in the middle, then the pressure will go out. If only this one is activated, this one is not activated, you will see it will block this portion and the pressure cannot go out. Similarly, for this case, once the pressure is here and this one is here, then you will have an output pressure here which will actuate the valve. And unlike the previous video, I did not use multiple input source. I just used this single input, and then I just connect it from this same pressure source to all the port designated as one as the energy source. So let's simulate and see what happens. Okay. So now, as you can see here, there is no pressure here, so it is basically retracted position. Now I cannot really press this one and press this one together, because this one, if you press, you release one, then you cannot really press this one again simultaneously. So I stop here. For just simulation purpose, I change it to not spring loaded, just simple maintain contact type. So the maintain contact means it's like a calling bell switch, not calling bell switch, normal light switch. So once you press, it will maintain the contact, and then you have to manually switch it back. But in real life application, it has to be the weight of the guard lock or the weight of the object will cause it to be actuated. So then it is no problem. But for simulation purpose, we cannot do that. So that's why I put it as a maintain contact. So let's simulate. So okay, so first we put the workpiece, and then we lower down the guard lock, and then you press the push button. Then you will see this thing is moving forward, and you release the push button, this is moving backward. You push and you release, it will come back. Let's say during the case you remove in the middle the guard lock, you remove the guard lock, then if you press, it is not going to work. Okay, so this problem can be solved in another way as well. Instead of this dual pressure valve, we can use, as you can see, once you press, you have air pressure here, it is blocking the place, so you cannot have any air here. Okay, so let's see how to deal with another method. In this case, I'm not going to use the dual pressure valve, but I'm going to put all these valves in series, the guard lock, the workpiece retainer, and the push button. So then they are all in series. If any one of them is not activated, then it will be not working. For example, if I press this one, it is not going to work unless you put the workpiece. Okay, now it is working, and then you press the guard lock, then it is working. Then you basically press it, then the cylinder will move. So what happened here is basically once you press this one, then the air goes 1 to 2, and 2 is connected to the 1, then it goes the air, so the go is basically a series connection. So I hope you have understood this example as well. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.